Joe, Jeff and I are really glad you're here today to share your experiences about being a resilient leader.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Jeff. It's great to be here.
How would you characterize your leadership style?
Well, I have an aspirational view of leadership. You might call it my leadership ego ideal. I have no idea whether it squares with the reality of what I do, but I can tell you about the aspiration. The words that come to my mind are, I want to be creative, energetic, people-focused, achievement-oriented, and I want to set high standards of integrity in my leadership work. So that's what I strive to do every day, and I'm confident I always fall short, but I also never forget what the goal is.
What are you proudest of as a leader?
There's no question about the answer to that. I'm proudest of the people I've helped to grow and develop. I can think back about individuals with whom I've worked, whether they were students when I was a faculty member or people with whom I worked in the dean's office or at Cummins Engine Company, who've gone on to do great things. And when I feel like I made a small contribution to identifying their talent and then helping them develop it and urging them to have the self-confidence to pursue their dream, it really does make me proud. So it's the people I've helped to grow and develop.
In what ways do you think of yourself as a resilient leader?
So I've come to see that resilience is crucial in life. The leadership role is only one of the many we play as human beings, and in all of our roles as people, resilience is critical. I was asked recently in an interview, what are the things I most value in other people or most respect in other people, and I think I said that resilience is one, persistence is another, the ability to come back, bounce back. And the reason is that it's not hard to be a graceful winner. That's actually sort of easy, and it's not hard to revel in good times. We all are capable of that. I think the real test of character is, how do you handle adversity? How do you handle disappointment? How do you handle hard times? That's really when we're tested most. And so over time, as I've come to see that life throws hard things at all of us, no matter how privileged we are, and no matter how much we have going for us, life throws hard things our way. As I've come to see that, I've placed a higher and higher value on resilience, both in myself and others.
Why do you respond resiliently while others may not?
Well, I first want to say that I've been inspired by the many, many people who are resilient. Mm-hmm. I've been asked, who are people to whom I really look up, and some names would be Nelson Mandela, 30 years in prison, unfairly imprisoned, no apparent signs of bitterness, and went on to lead what amounted to a near bloodless end of apartheid in South Africa and the aftermath thereof. That's resilience. I think about Lincoln. When you study Lincoln's life, what you realize is that, this man who's an iconic American leader, in fact, had an extraordinarily difficult life. Difficulties of all kinds: the death of his son, mental health problems of his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, the crushing weight of the Civil War, the uncertainty about the outcome, the tens of thousands of deaths. And yet, Lincoln never took his eye off the ball. He managed to remember that the important things were keeping the Union together, took him a while, but gradually came to the realization that ending slavery in America was critical, and did it. And so he's a hero. Eleanor Jositis, co-founder of Focus Hope in Detroit. She has an amazing personal history, from the antipathy that she experienced when she helped co-found this human rights organization, human service organization, in the aftermath of the riots in Detroit in the 60s, through the death of her co-founder, Father William Cunningham. Immediately after that, a tornado came through Focus Hope and decimated 30 years worth of work. And she always came right back, just right there on the spot. So the point I'm making is that to the extent I am resilient and have been, it's sort of minor league resilience, in my opinion, compared to others who I most admire. With respect to why I've had some measure of resilience, I think you have to go to the question of nature and nurture. I mean, I think part of it has to involve, honestly, genetic makeup. I mean, well, I can only speak for myself. I'm the grandson of Italian immigrants who came to America in the early part of the 20th century in steerage, with nothing except a dream, which was fulfilled through their hard work and what America has to offer. And I'm also the grandson of an uneducated, hardworking man from West Virginia who was a cook, not a chef, a cook. And clearly, I'm the lucky recipient of some resilience genes, I think. So that's part of it. And then in addition, I would simply say that nobody is resilient by himself or herself. When I've gone through difficult times, it's been the love of my wife, the support of my family, help from mental health professionals. I believe in reaching out for help when you need it, and I've urged other people to do it, and we all need it sometimes. And, the notion of soldiering on without help is stupid. So that's part of it, and friends. So I'd say the second thing is help and love and support from other people.
Thinking back to 2002 and not getting the presidential appointment at Michigan, what facilitated your resilience?
Well, let me first say that not being appointed president at the University of Michigan and then seeing the aftermath was a reminder to me that I want to share with others that we don't know what's best for us in our lives. We only think we know, but the truth is we don't know. And I was disappointed not to be appointed president. Not particularly surprised, but disappointed. I think that Mary Sue Coleman, who was appointed president, is an extraordinary, outstanding woman, and I think that it was a matter of fit. I think it was a question of what the Board of Regents wanted at that particular time. Mary Sue is an experienced president, a former president. She's a distinguished scientist, and I think that she really brought exactly what the Regents were seeking. It's hard to remember not to take personal things personally, but you have to. Somebody else winning doesn't mean you lost. I know that sounds naive to people, but if you keep your head screwed on straight, you realize it's true. It's more a matter of, this wasn't my turn. This wasn't my time. This wasn't the right fit. And one thing I would say is that maintaining perspective about what's happening to you, why is it happening, and what does it mean is critical. I've seen people exhibit paranoia in the face of disappointment. I've seen people exhibit and develop serious bitterness in the face of disappointment. Those are very unfortunate reactions, and they ultimately really hurt the individual involved. So I'd say one thing is, a very important thing is maintaining perspective about what's happening, why is it happening, and what does it mean to me. And then I think the second thing is to realize that it's our job, it's our responsibility to create a positive future for ourselves. That's the simplest way I think I can put it. We, as I've said, those of us who live in this era, in this country, in this place, are among the luckiest human beings in history. And it's really almost sinful to forget that. And so the idea that, I wanted something, I didn't get it, I'm going to brood, I'm going to be negative, be bitter, it's just wrong-headed. There is so much to do in the world. I received a very nice note from somebody, from Fred Alger, after I was not appointed president of Michigan, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, there's important work in the world to do for a person of your talent and integrity. And that's true for all of us. So it's our job to create a positive future for ourselves. And I think if you keep your eye on that ball, then you will be resilient.
What are your leadership hopes in your new role as president of the University of Illinois?
Well, I want to serve others well. That's how I think about it. It's a tremendous privilege and a somewhat daunting responsibility to be entrusted with the leadership of a 140-year-old institution that's distinguished. The University of Illinois has a history of Nobel Prize winners, educating first-generation college students, being a leader in science and technology. Everybody knows that Mosaic, the predecessor to the today's internet search engines, was created at the University of Illinois. This is the sort of institution with which I've been entrusted, and it's humbling. And so my aspiration is to serve all the people of the university well, the 70,000 current students, the 25,000 faculty and staff, the over 500,000 alumni, and the people of the state of Illinois. The University of Illinois is a land-grant public research university with a tremendous tradition of service to the state. And to be more specific, by the time I'm finished with my presidency, I want the University of Illinois to be an even better institution than it is today, to have greater stature, more accomplishments, more recognition, more resources than it has today. I want the people of the University of Illinois to have thrived on my watch. I want to have helped create an environment in which they can both envision and then do their best work. And finally, I want the people of the state of Illinois, who have provided the resources over the years to create this great university, to see that the university is making tremendous contributions to education at every level in the state, to healthcare, to economic development, and to the cultural life of the state. And when I'm finished, if I can say those things have all happened, I'll feel like I did a good job.
What are the biggest challenges you face in your new role, and what are you doing to facilitate facing and meeting these challenges?
So I think leadership challenges at a senior level are always the same, which is to imagine and articulate high aspirations that stretch people, but with tremendous effort and a little bit of luck can be achieved. That's number one. Number two, to attract outstanding people to do the work of the organization, and then to enable them to do their best. And then the third thing is to bring energy and a positive, can-do spirit to the job every single day. Because that's what people need, and that's what they expect, and that's what you owe them as a leader. So, there are 100 specific challenges that go beyond that,
Right.
but those are the big three. They're always the same. They're the same here at Illinois, and I love rising to that challenge, to those challenges.
Joe, it was great to have you here sharing your lessons.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
We enjoyed it, and I'm sure the students will enjoy it as well.
My pleasure, Jane.